Hi everyone, welcome to my information management class. It's the subject is either information management or knowledge management, but it is labeled as information management systems. Okay, so we are going to start from next Monday for 10 weeks, and I have sent you a detailed email, right, having what is supposed to be done. Okay, so this is simply the background information. Okay, so as usual, I start all the subjects with two forum posts. One is the basic guideline. Okay, that's called, housekeeping rules, right? What is expected. Then there's another thread, another forum thread, that's a very special one. So that's called step-by-step guide for online learning. Okay, I put a lot of energy into that to write these things. So all what you need to do is when you read little at a time and then write a note somewhere. Either in the computer you can type or you can get a little notebook and write down. Okay, and the most important item is make sure that you are learning something new, right? So this subject, information management system, you take any company you like and look at what are the information management systems they use, right? So you know that generally, let's consider one of the businesses, Coles Supermarket. In Coles Supermarket, their information system, you must have seen, those tellers, the checkout points, they have the barcodes, right? So they get the barcode reader and scan it, and then quickly it goes to the computer, and computer gives the price, and then it add total, right? So can you see now? So when they add total, what happens is the inventory, Coles got an inventory. From the inventory, those sold items are deducted. So that is one method of information management, one part of information management, right? And Coles Supermarket is paying their employees maybe every week or maybe fortnight basis. So then they use payroll systems to pay their salary into their bank account. And that you can see payroll management system. That is another information management system. Now, when they get new people for sales, they have to train them, right? So they have training system, training management system. So that is another information management system, right? Now, in addition to that, the Coles Supermarket got a huge database where they store the suppliers, then the customers, employees, staff, all those details and the dealings as well. And that's a massive database, right? So therefore, staff at different levels, the top management, the middle, the front line, okay? So that is another information management system, okay? Now, imagine, now this Coles is a massive shopping, shopping complex. So in their case, they have to communicate with, the statewide, different states, to see how the business is growing, right? And sometimes, the telephone calls, when we call supermarket, the calls are recorded and then somebody will answer it at a later stage. So there's a PABX system that is also part of knowledge management system. Oh, so knowledge, information, the both are just like a married couple. They go together, right? You cannot say one is inferior, one is superior. How could you say that? When there is a couple, husband and wife, no one is inferior or superior to the other person. So they're just, I would call it, IT is married, information management is married to the knowledge management. Knowledge meaning whatever the information systems that you use, right? Some of the knowledge you are getting from textbooks, and some knowledge you are getting by experience. There are two things, right? Knowledge based on experience and the knowledge taken from textbooks, right? So we call it tacit. Explicit are the word. I'm not getting into detail here, right? So, but in these assessments are, set based on a company called a fitness center, Try Fitness. But by all means, the knowledge that you have related to information systems, please incorporate, right? Even the questions does not ask, you can criticize the company and say, yes, they have very old information management system. We call it antiquated. Please take the tool, criticize, I don't have a problem. Bring me up to today's standards. Get me what are the things that should be there. You simply twist it, the questions and answer. Make sure at the end of this subject, you are gaining knowledge of all information management systems in a company, right? We'll look at a couple of examples for information management systems, because you need to know that. And it is Australian Qualification Frameworks Level 5. Supposing if you go to Coles supermarket for a job, and if they say, can you work with our inventory management system? You might find, oh, what's that? Oh, didn't know that. Or they might say, can you work with our customer relationship management system? Oh, what's that? It's better to know what kind, how many information management systems you will find. It depends on the size of the organization, right? Some really small organizations, they don't have anything other than a little database. Okay, we'll see what's happening, right? Here it is. Now the first one, I call it customer relationship management, right? What you could do is just go to Google, jump onto Google, type not abbreviation, type down customer relationship management. Then you will find parts of a customer relationship management. There are specific software, you can get it, you have to buy, of course, the companies can purchase to manage their customer database, right? That's called customer relationship management. Coles got it, okay? Myers, Coles, Woolworths, right? All these big businesses, they do have it. That's one. There's the other one. We call it supply chain management. Let's get Coles, right? Coles got a lot of farmers supplying vegetables, fruit, and other groceries, right? So there are a number of different departments. So they have to manage all these data, and that is, again, go to Google and type supply chain management tools or software. You will find quite a lot. Okay. Number 3, this is called enterprise resource planning. This is one of the most powerful information management systems that universities got. They have to manage their student records, student enrollment, students leaving, students graduation, students accommodation, then government communications, right? So if it is international students, their management. So, and not only students, then they have the staff, right? They have these other stakeholders. So all of them, and what about the library information management system, right? That's another one. So they all are under one roof, which is called enterprise resource planning and information management system. Then payroll systems. Payroll systems we have here in study group, we got a payroll system, payroll management system, we call it. And definitely Coles supermarket got it, right? So it is to deal with, as I said earlier, deal with the payments of employees. Number 5, this is learning management system. Most of the educational organizations got this thing. And in fact, what we have here is called the Study Smart, right? Then the next one is database management system, right? There are some, even for a small organization, there are 2 or 3 databases, right? Excel is, as a database, is the home database, we call it, right? At home, we keep our personal budget and kind of thing as a Excel. So that is, at individual level, we use Excel to manage our data, right? So, but large companies or like study group, they got number of database management systems, right? One is the one we are inserting results, right? That's totally separate. Then we have another database working on a different site, right? Called HUD, right? So that is database management system. Then This is artificial intelligence systems, right? So sometimes you have this sensors installed, and you need to, if someone is walking, it gets the message, okay, someone is there, or activate an alarm, kind of. So that is artificial intelligence systems. Then we are going to continue with that, right? First we discussed the 7, and here the number 8. This is PABX. It's a private automatic branch exchanges system, right? It's automatic telephone switching system, right? So that is important. I mean, if there is no one, it will provide an answer. And if you look at that, most of the places, if you talk to a Dell or any computer service provider, Lenovo, it will go through a PABX system and directing each and everyone for based on their requirement, right? Your mobile service provider, they have this PABX system, right? Then storage systems, how the storage systems work. There are large storage systems on computerized. So that shows which part, which area is stored what, right? So how it is emptied and how it is filled. Then the next one is inventory management system. This is the one I called in the call supermarket. How they manage inventories, because day-to-day basis, inventories are emptied and filled, right? So that has to be managed. That's a different system. Then administration systems. This is the little, small things. Remember administration systems 1569. You learned how to deal with that Excel, Tri-Fitness, the Excel database. That's again like a little database. Remember, that is called administration. Enter data, delete data, generating a little report, and that's that kind of thing, right? Administration. Then another one here, marketing information systems. That's managing all aspects of marketing in business. That's another one. Then we have office automation system, right? Automatically set certain things to happen. You can do that. Have you noticed sometimes people set the woodcutters, then the bottling, food canning industry. They set their, certain machines are set to start. It is programmed to start at a given specific time. That is also called automation systems, right? Office automation is mostly, sometimes when you get an email from me, especially Saturday and Sunday, you will find an automatic message says, sorry, I'm not available, and this is the day I'll be back. That can be also considered as office automation, something automated, okay? Now, decision support system, this is a very important one. So in this case, sometimes these large companies, when they advertise for a job, they get thousands of applications. So they feed the selection criteria, and then they filter those applicants from 1,000 to 100, then from 100 to 50, and then from 50 to 10, and then from 10 to 5. But in the end, the final decision is made by a human, not a machine. That's 14 is just from me, but don't think this is all information management systems. So there are many. It's up to you to find out. At least it's my responsibility to let you know this is how broad the world is, information management system is. If for any chance if your subject is focusing on a little database system and a bit of a e-learning system, I can't help, because information management system is very broad, and make sure that it has roots in everywhere. Take a company I got Coles supermarket. That's quite large, right? So there are larger companies than Coles supermarket. Okay, right. Now the next stage is I'm going to take you towards the learning management system to show you where the things are, right? So that with this all information, you are ready to hit the ground running on next Tuesday, not Monday. Remember, Monday is a public holiday. Okay, right. So let's go to a learning management system and see what is there for you. Okay, right. So we start with that information management systems, right? And you have this getting started, right? Initially, you can see the layout. Mainly, you have the left side, the row of squares or rectangles, and then the middle portion, and then the right side. So the left side is the major, like a book, the main chapters. So the middle is mainly for the sessions, the study sessions during 10 weeks. And if you look at the right side, you will see this is navigation, where you are, your home page, who are my role participants. I can see all students here, right? And then administration here, this is important, administration. The grade book, that's where all your grades are going, okay? And if I click it here, grades, okay, that's how it looks like, okay? You can see a grade book. If you click one of those grades, and you can see how the details are. Okay, so that's quite beautiful, isn't that? Don't miss the grade book. Okay, right. And you can see we can generate reports, edit, setting, all these things can be done. Right side, can you see the quick mail? If you want to send a quick mail through learning management system, please click here, compose new email, and I'll get it. Okay, now the other important item is you should be able to see mailbox here. So if I go to my home page is the one generally you find your mailbox, right? So somewhere to the right side, look, my settings are different. Home page, by the side you will find Outlook Express. Please click on that and use Study Smart Mailbox. It's very important. Why? Because all forum messages are quickly jumping onto Study Smart Mailbox. Okay, right now what you do is click one by one at a time and see what is there. Here we go, getting started. It says what the information is, right? And then there are links. It says click next section. You can click next section, or you can go back button, and then you can click student resources. Now read the student resources. What are the resources provided? Look at the names. Email template. Email template. Of course, it's using for email. Can you use email template to write a report? It doesn't make sense, right? Here it is, the TriFitness membership database. This is that I call the home data Excel kind of thing. It's not a large database. It's a very basic database. I used a little bit bigger database for my home use. Okay. And here the PowerPoint template. PowerPoint template, you can't write an email on a PowerPoint template, right? So those are self-explanatory. Privacy statement meaning about privacy. What is the company doing? And here, security of information. How do they protect their information? See, these are self-explanatory. A fitness system review report template, right? This review report template. This is information. It should be information management review, right? So you can use this, or you can use a better one. It's up to you. The sky is the limit for your creativity, right? There it is, a training plan template. Training plan template is, you can get the logo and insert it to the header of the document, and then make a training plan, a table of, word table. And here, TriFitness workflow, how the work is supposed to organized workflow. Let's see what's there here. Workflow instructions. These are training instructions, right? You don't need to stick into table. Remember, when you insert screen captures, sometimes the table is really nasty. At that stage, what you could do is click on enable editing, and then click on this table. Here the table, I clicked here, okay? And then go to layout button and say convert to text, and click the first one, paragraph marks, so that all will be converted. You can write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? As I said here, this is not a hard thing. You can copy this stem here. You can copy that picture here. This is a little image. Can you see? I can move it here anyway. So you copy it here and create your own template. Then you can get the footer and copy this and put it into the footer. Oh, right? So you can create headings. Of course, you can have headings by using go to home button, and you create your headings here. Which one? What heading you want? Normal, and then put that heading. Then heading 2 here, heading 1, 2, 3, 4. It's up to you. Right, so I'm not going to get into that details anymore. I don't need to save it here. Going back to the learning management system. So that is all about these resources. They are not hard, okay? They are very, very basic, okay? Right, now remember that this Australian qualification framework level 5, you have to learn something, right? So far it's all general information, nothing new. Okay, let's get into the next one. It says assessment, and it is highlighting what assessment 1, 2, 3, these are summaries, okay? Just get an idea, but that's enough. You don't need to remember any of these things, right? Now this is important. Submit assessment task 1, 2, 3. When you click on submit, what happens is it will give you a little box, right? So I'm not getting that, right? My mode is different. So it will give you a little box. If the box is asking a question, is this assessment is on your own? You have to put a tick saying yes. So when you submit the assessment, our learning management system is set to go through a website called www.turnitin.com. When it goes to turnitin.com, what it does is it's scanning your assessment with millions of documents published on the World Wide Web to find out whether you have copied anything from elsewhere. And if you have copied, it tells this is what is copied, this is the website, and finally, this is the percentage that you copied. So keep the assessment, when you read it, information says you cannot copy, right? Information. And generally what I know is below 10%, it should be below 10%, but I'm not sure. I have raised that question with the management. As soon as I get the answer, I'll get back to you, okay? Right, now that's all about assessments. Let's click next section, right? Next section is who is teaching what subject and what not. And the next one is about forums. You click here, this is my forum, okay? Finally, you're starting the work. Can you see the work now? Slides. You have slides, right? We check the slides. Read these. When you read critically, right? So go and read online step-by-step guide and then write notes. That's called critical reading and reflection. Okay? And there is activity here. Look at the activity. Without doing activities, you can't write general essays here. We just fiddling with words and writing without giving details. We call it descriptive writing. That's what you have done in primary school, right? Maybe middle school as the beginning, right? Now, activities, when you do your activities, what happens is they will be recorded. So your grade book. Remember I told you the grade book? It says who is doing what. And Study Smart is very clever. It informs me as soon as you complete an activity. So I get the message. So I know sometimes when students say, I don't understand, what I do is I conduct reading sessions. The main reason is it was the reading. Reading was not critical and therefore cannot understand. That's one. Two, the activities are not done. Activities are there to enhance what you read. Activities are not done. Without doing activities, without doing reading, it is not fair to say that I don't understand, because you need to give yourself a chance to see whether you can understand it, right? Okay. So then we go to section 2. After third section, there are activities for each section. You get a chance to do your assessment 1, right? And you click here the assessment 1. So when you get this assessment, what you could do is, there is the top left, can you see download as a PDF? Click on there, that's easy, right? Right, click here and download your assessment. So, and read what you are expected to do. I'll also give you the checklist, okay? And then follow that. So as I said here, this is focusing on membership database. Membership database is that little Excel sheet, okay? But information management is much more broader, and remember that, okay? Right, so I'm going to close that there, and then, right, then get into the next section. So like that, you continue, then you will find the learning content, then the activity, and then you will get into assessment 2, which is after session 7, right? So then you continue this, follow my study plan given in that welcome email, and finally you get it after session 10, assessment 3. Once you do assessment 3, you will have to answer knowledge quiz. This is very easy, 6 questions. That's why it's called quiz. It's not a hard one, right? It's kind of walk in the park, okay? So there is no difficulty. But my only concern is make sure, do not, please, do not write an essay of just revolving around with words and words without giving details, okay? As I said, remember, number of information management systems is a very broad area. In fact, that a little database will be maybe perhaps 5 or 10% of the whole information management systems in a company, because you need to ask these questions. The purpose is everyone needs information. So what information needed by who, at what time, at what cost, and at what place? These are the questions you need to ask. Okay, right. So as I gave you a study smart journey, right, and with all this information, I believe you have enough founding information to start this subject, okay? And make sure that at the end of the 10 weeks, right, you are gaining a better idea of what information management system is. Can you be one of the learning managers in learning development managers? That's the role. Or information manager. Those are the roles in line with that. But to perform in such a role or as an assistant, you should have knowledge in lots of information systems that companies use. Because without that knowledge, you might find, as you said, you might find, oh my goodness, I never knew these things because I did this subject and I never learned that. So this is why I'm showing you, these are the examples for information management system. So when you summarize the whole thing together, it goes back to systems and people, right? People systems. So when you talk to systems, we have software, hardware, networking. Okay, so those 3 elements are there. You have another way of grouping this, right? And then you need hardware to install software. You need network to connect people together, right? So the backbone of the whole information management and knowledge management system is the computer-generated systems composed of hardware, software, and networking. That's a reality, right? And we can't deny that.